everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. And for some of you across the country are looking forward to a long weekend this weekend. For our Be Relentless webinar series, round 2 this week, it is Business Development Week. It's also an exciting time. Today is the first day that real estate agents in Quebec and Montreal are allowed to get back in business. So we hope you're looking forward to that. And for the rest of you who haven't had to stop what you're doing and are simply modifying your business plans and just the way you do business, we have some advice for you today. We have the productivity coach for Century 21 down in the southern states today, Bryan Pitt. He's talking about building your sphere of influence during COVID-19. And we're excited to have him here today. He is kicking off our week. Bryan, hello. Thank you for joining us from the sunny skies of where you are. How are you this morning or this afternoon, your time?
I'm great. Yes, it is this afternoon. It is just after 1 o'clock here. I am down in Florida, and I'm really great and feeling excited to be with you all today.
Good. Well, we're finally so excited to be talking about getting life back to what many of us remember it being like 2 months ago. I know it'll be a while before we're fully there, but we're starting to see the glimmer of hopes. But you still have ideas for people about what they can do because we still aren't able to open up the doors all together. So you've got some tips on building your sphere.
Great. Thank you, Lee. Absolutely. You know, it's interesting because a few years back, I actually grew up very close to my brother, and he joined the Navy. And when he joined the Navy, of course, we weren't able to see each other anymore. But you know what? We had to maintain that relationship. And many of you probably have a similar story or a similar circumstance that happened to you, where someone that you're close to, someone that you have a relationship with, moved away and you wanted to maintain that relationship. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, about maintaining the relationships that you already have within your sphere. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through a quick PowerPoint. And as Lee mentioned, I think we're going to monitor some chat and questions that you can ask me at the end. But let's go ahead and start it. I'm going to share my screen now. And you should be seeing my screen, so it might take just a minute to stream through, but we're going to talk about building your SOI in a physically distant world. Before I go forward, though, a couple of housekeeping issues. I'm actually going to take off my video camera so that I can maintain or preserve some bandwidth. So you won't be able to see me, but you can probably still hear my voice. So, building your SOI in a physically distant world. Remember at all times during COVID-19 that this is a crisis and you have guidelines that are put out by your local or provincial governments that you need to adhere to. So please make sure you are following all of those guidelines as well as the Canadian anti-spam legislation requirements that are out there. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to go through 4 steps. We're going to talk about some lessons that we've learned from our last recession, which we called the Great Recession. You know, here in the United States, it was quite a time for us, but you know what? It gave us historical data to build our businesses from and to learn from. We're also going to talk about some actions that you can do today that can help impact your business. We're going to look at some communication plan or that you can put in today. We're not going to get directly into a mastermind, but I'm going to equip you to be able to take it from what we talk about today to the next step. And then, of course, the action plan. What are the next steps for you to make sure that you are building your sphere during this time? So why is now a good time to reach out? Well, you know, when you think about it, now, just like many of you, I'm at home. Our sphere is at home. Although things are starting to loosen in different areas, people are still spending a lot of time at home. So you have the opportunity now to connect to people more than we did before. You also have the opportunity to connect in a better way because you know what? People want to hear from you. They're starving for human interaction. They're saying, oh my goodness, I'm hearing a live voice. And it's not just my kids or my husband or my dog. It is a real live person. So now is a great time to reach out. And we're going to talk about some of those tips that you can do to reach out. Let's look at some history. In the Great Recession, the period that we had around 2008, that was the worst real estate market that we have had in our history. All right. When we talk about it, we're talking about the lowest amount of homes that were sold in the United States. But what we learned from that were a couple of things. Although prices fell, although builders ceased construction, it started to tick back up. The market did rebound. So the upside of it, although in the United States, 250,000 real estate left the profession, it created opportunities. And the upside, even in the worst markets, homes still sold. The worst market ever, 2008 here in the United States, followed by 2010. In that worst market, in those two horrible, horrible markets, 4 million homes sold in the United States. That's still opportunity. We found that homes, people needed to sell, people needed to buy. We also, as you saw, that statistic of 250,000 people left the business. So that meant that there were fewer agents. And as I mentioned, the market eventually did rebound. So it gives you a reality check. And we took a reality check by the NAR members over the years. And if you look at this graph, it shows from 2000 to 2018. And you'll see it looks like a mountain range of sorts, right? And why those NAR members, why the ones that stayed in the business succeeded? Communication. Their communication to their sphere, which we have found is the best source and fastest source of business. So you're probably saying, you know what? I'm already close to my sphere. Everyone knows I'm in real estate. Everyone knows what I do. Well, here's the thing. Steve Murray, who's the president of Real Trends, says, if you think you're close to your sphere, get closer. That's the challenge. That's the point. If you think you're already close, utilize this time that's filled with opportunities to get closer. We have head trash, right? We all have trash that fills our head. I suffer from this constantly. I'll work on a new class and I'll think, you know what? Nope, they don't want to hear that. Oh, you know what? I don't want to put that in the class. I don't want to talk about that. And you may say this, I don't want my friends and family to think I'm only calling because I want their business when you're trying to get closer, right? Or you may say they have too much going on to think about buying or selling. Well, how about if you flipped that? Just a different thought process. My friends and family may be lonely. We mentioned that, right? They're starving for human interaction. They may be lonely or scared or unsure during this time. They will appreciate my guidance and support. The information that you can bring to them can definitely be of value to your friends, your family, and your sphere. If you think you're close, get closer. Get into a mindset. Leverage the obstacles that are there in the market. One obstacle. We're facing social distancing and/or social gathering limitations. That's the obstacle. Well, what would be that opportunity? People may have more time and need to connect with others. Use this opportunity to reach out to your sphere and your community to stand apart from the rest and keep top of mind. Here's another obstacle that we're faced with today. Many of us have a fear of the unknown and a fear of loss, right? Well, there's an opportunity there as well. Shift your focus from marketing to service. And then position yourself as a resource to guide your clients through this difficult time. Now is the time to build trust. The third obstacle is there may be government limitations. Well, let's look at this opportunity. As we learned from the Great Recession and the statistics that I talked about, many agents stop all business-related activities in times of crisis. Instead of doing that, learn the details of the limitations so that you can work within their confines and communicate everything you're doing so you are the agent everyone is calling, both now and when those regulations are lifted. So 3 great opportunities from 3 obstacles we may be seeing right now to get you into the mindset and leverage. Well, you know what? You're probably saying, well, Bryan, how do I get closer? How do you expect me to get closer when we're all keeping a distance, right? Well, let's go into some tips. Let's talk about what you can do today. I'm going to give you a formula to get closer. It's 3 steps. You know what? Let me change that because it's not steps. When we think of steps, we think of them as ordinal, right? We think of them as one step after the other. No, think of them as ingredients. You don't do one and then the other. You do them all at the same time. The first one is to get organized. Second, focus in on the now. And the third ingredient is to get closer. Let's go in one at a time. Your steps to get organized. When we write our classes, when we put our content together to deliver out to our agents, we interview other agents. We interview top agents and we get their insights. We get their best practices to deliver out. And throughout this class and throughout what we talk about today, you're going to see these little light bulb things on my screen that are timely insights. And these are direct quotes from top producers, the top producers that we spoke with to put this class together. And I have to also, I'm going to stray from the presentation for just a moment because as we all are home, I am home, and my dog is actually right next to me, but he's barking at something. So if you hear my dog barking, I apologize in advance. So
we don't hear him, Bryan, so he's behaving himself from our end so far.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Lee. All right. So let's look at some steps to get organized. Now, these are steps. Okay. Recognize your new workday. What does your new workday look like? 2, win the day. 3, create a workplace experience. And I love this insight to start us off. I start each day as though I'm going into the office. It's just my home office. All right. So let's look at those 3 steps. 1, recognize your new work day. The expectation is that, you know what? You're home now. You don't have to commute to the office. You don't have to commute to showings, whatever. You have this time. You can wake up at 6 in the morning and do a workout, get some healthy breakfast in, and then have the entire day to get your business organized, right? It is absolutely the expectation of everyone, including myself, that I have so much time, I will organize my business, right? Here's the reality. My kids, my dog, my partner, they won't leave me alone. And guess what? There's this thing called Netflix. Netflix just keeps saying, Bryan, 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 and I can't avoid it, right? And what that does is it zaps all of my time. It zaps all of my available resources to make a new workday. So recognize what your new workday really is and adjust. Be ready to adjust. 2, win the day. Positive mind equals positive results, right? One of the things you might want to try is getting into a power pose and literally recite how you will win the day. I love these tips, and I actually do them myself, a variation. 1, your goal is to learn something new. Well, you've already started just by being in this webinar, right? One goal is to learn something new. Another goal that you may have to win the day is to impact one person. Make a change in someone's life for the better. And this is how I live my life. Smile and have fun. If you literally start out your day by 1, recognizing what the new day looks like and be ready to adjust to accomplish what you need. And 2, winning the day, setting goals. Learn something new, impact one person, smile and have fun, right? Think about what those 2 steps could do for you and your business. And the 3rd step is to create your home office experience. For some, this could be easy. You're sitting in an office, you have the ability to shut a door, to make that experience. However, for others, it may not be. You may have a lot of activity at home. So here's a quick checklist. Set your intention. Set your intention. In other words, know what you are looking to accomplish. Time block with purpose. Put it into your calendar and let your calendar become your boss. Make others aware of your calendar. If you have the ability to shut a door, put a sign up that says, I am prospecting right now. I'll be with you at noon. I'll be with you at 1. If you don't, let everyone know that's around you, that is a part of your life, what your schedule looks like. This is so important because, today, how many of us are so distracted by that small little smartphone device, right? We get distracted by this little 6-inch screen constantly. Take the opportunity to turn off the distractions. One thing that I do whenever I am preparing for a class or working on some work is I have 3 favorite channels, music channels that I listen to: jazz, classical, and then nature sounds. And I'll put that on and I turn my phone off. Because you know what? When I am busy, if someone needs to get me, you can adjust by setting your voicemail and giving them the expectation of when you'll get back to them. And that way, an hour probably won't kill them. So that if you are not using your phone for your prospecting, turn it off. Set that great experience at your home. And then adjust. I talked about it in step one. Adjust for reality. The kids are going to be there. The dog's going to need to be walked. All of that is going to need to happen. Adjust and get back to work. Here's another timely insight, and I can relate to this one. Every day I get dressed, not pajamas. Review my daily checklist and start making my calls right away, so I'm immediately in the right mindset. Get dressed, review my checklist, and start making calls. That's how you literally can get yourself organized. So the next step, or in the focus, is focus on the now. 3 steps to this as well. Shift the line, update your contacts, and systematize your network. Here's a top producer that says, right now, my focus is my sphere. I want them to know how I'm personally responding and taking greater care of my business moving forward. Right now, my focus is my sphere. When we think about shifting the line, we always talk, and you probably have seen this, we talk about now business and future business, and how prospecting really talks or relates to that now business, and marketing relates to the future business. In focusing in on the now, we're just going to shift that line to have more prospecting, focusing in on now business. It doesn't mean that we stop or cease marketing, but we're just shifting our focus. We're focusing in on the now, literally. At this time, I don't have any listings to market. So I'm marketing myself by reaching out to everyone in my community and sphere. Do you hear the key there? By reaching out to everyone in my community and sphere. You're probably you could be in a similar situation as this top producer, where you do not have listings to market right now. I know here in Florida, where I'm located, inventory is absolutely rock bottom. I mean, we are literally starving for inventory. So market yourself and reach out to everyone. Step 2 is to update those contacts. Here are some sample scripts that you could use, right, to focus in on the now. Remember, if you're going to use your scripts, to remember the anti-spam law. But you could say something like this by phone. Hi, Lee, how are you? Is there anything I can do for you? I am keeping very busy. In fact, right now I'm updating all of my contacts so that when I have the market information in these uncertain times, I can be sure it's getting to you. Would you mind sharing your email? You can always follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever your social media is of choice, right? A great script by phone, of course, that you will customize to yourself to update your contact. But what if you don't want to call them? What if you wanted to send out an email? Hi, Lee, I'm checking in to see how you are doing. I'm updating all my contacts so that when I have market information in these uncertain times, I can be sure it's getting to you. Would you mind sharing your phone number with me? If you prefer texting instead of calling, just let me know. Just that slight variation. If you prefer texting instead of calling, let me know. Updating your contacts. And when you update your contacts, put notes in. Add notes so that you then can find that common ground. There may be some personal touches that you notice. For example, if you were speaking to me, if you were an agent and you were speaking to me and I mentioned my dog, maybe you're going to write down, oh, he has a dog. Maybe you've asked me what the dog's name is, so that guess what? In a week or two, you call me and you say, hey, how's Diesel? I don't hear him. Well, you know what? What that does to me as a prospect, as a person who, it tells me that you care. It tells me that you listen, and it connects us. Put notes in to add that connection. Step 3, and focus on the now, is to systematize your network. Make sure that you've literally put your network together so that you can communicate targeted communications to each one. First one that you may think of in systematizing is the raving fans. Categorize those people who will talk about you no matter what. Those are the ones that you walk outside and they're holding up the pom-poms and the megaphone and they're saying, Bryan, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can, right? Those are your raving fans. Those are the ones you can count on all of the time. Your second group might be your past clients. Anyone that you've sold a home to or that has used you for your real estate services, right? You can get referrals from them. You can keep them up to date on information so that when they need to think of a real estate professional again, they'll think of you. And then the third category is everyone else. Everyone else. Think about how you could target your communication if you had everyone categorized. If you had your raving fans, and today is Monday, and you know that on Monday you call your raving fans, or if you peppered it in and said, hey, you know what, I call my raving fans in the morning because I know I will have a positive, fun, enjoyable conversation and they can get me started on my day. Then I'm going to move on at 11 a.m. I start calling my past clients or some of my past clients. And then by 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'm calling everyone else. We talked about some of the opportunities that right now presents for us. And this is one of those, that background legwork of our business that we don't think about, that we now have the time to do. As a matter of fact, one of the top producers said, I've been putting it off for a while, but now I am finally adding all my contacts and notes into my CRM so that it will be easier and faster to reach out to everyone. And I'm going to hold there for just 1 second. I'm going to mention something. This class, the information that is in this class, was put together mid-April. These are literally absolutely up-to-the-minute quotes, specifically from agents who are dealing with the same type of restrictions, the same market conditions. This is very, very fresh. And this agent said, I've been putting it off for a while, but you know what? We have time now. I'm going back in, I'm adding all of my contacts and notes into my CRM. So guess what? There is an opportunity right there for you to touch your spear, to pick up the phone, to utilize some of those scripts that I talked about, the by phone, or send them that email and say, hey, you know what? I am spending today to update my contacts. And I don't have your email. I don't have your phone number. I don't have whatever. Would you mind giving it to me? And that opens the door for more conversations. That's a great way to focus in on the now. Which brings us to our last step. in this formula, and that's to get closer. There are 6 steps to getting closer. 1, be everywhere. 2, provide items of value. 3, touch base with scripts. 4, use social media. 5, think outside the box. And 6, strategize. Timely insight right here. An agent says, I am just trying to over-communicate as much as I possibly can. Every day I'm calling, texting, and posting. So let's dive in. Be everywhere. Remember what an agent said earlier about not just contacting your sphere, but also the community. When we look at this, it literally works as like that infinity loop. Excuse me. Your sphere is your now. And you can contact them or be everywhere with them with phone calls, texts, videos, email, handwritten notes. Do not underestimate a handwritten note. It is powerful. My favorite superhero is Superman. I love Superman. And I really don't believe that there is any other superhero stronger than Superman. And I feel the same way about handwritten notes. They are so powerful. And then Zoom and video conferences like we're doing right now, right? Those are ways that you can be everywhere with your sphere now. And then when you're looking at the future business, when you're working on that marketing or shifting that line, and you're thinking about your community, your neighborhood, your town, you can touch them by social media, doing postings and live video, doing a great live video, newsletters and market report. Great ways to be everywhere. Some of the things that you can provide to them. Items of value. Make sure that your items of value are diversified. You may put in, here in the United States, the CDC and WHO information about what's going on. Just like I mentioned earlier that people are starving for human interaction, they're also starving for information. Then you can bring it right back home to your expertise and what's going on in the local market. Let your sphere know. Let your community know. You may have information about home delivery services or supplies. Here, I don't know if you guys realized it or if you saw the same thing here in Florida. We literally went most of the month of April without toilet paper. People were literally getting online and saying, oh my God, there's toilet paper at the grocery store on 14th Street. Get there now. That's how, that's some real value for that you could put in the moment. Educational information, free at home exercise classes, anything. And if you're thinking about putting out market statistics, tell them facts. Let your sphere know some facts that are going on right now. For example, here in the United States, in the National Association of Realtor Chief Economist Lawrence Yun made this statement. The fact that we are in a very accommodating monetary policy means that mortgage rates will remain at historic lows. Well, that alone is a fantastic piece of information to put out to the sphere, to your community. That alone. Mortgage rates are going to hit historic lows. That means that buyers are going to continue to have great buying power. So some things that you can put into that provide value. The third part of getting closer is touch base with your sphere, right? Literally with scripts, using scripts. Now, I If you say that scripts are not important, I will disagree with you probably forever. Because the reason that scripts are important is because scripts provide you with dialogue. And I've had agents that say, well, I would never say it that way. That's not the point. The point is that there is something in that script that is going to imprint in your mind so that when the opportunity comes up again for you to use that valuable business dialogue, you'll know it. You'll know it. There are scripts available for you for phone, for text or email. There are all types of different scripts to put together, and these are just some examples of some scripts that are available. What we've done here is we put together a script library, and you may have something similar, but a script library that organizes all of our scripts and gives them to our agents so that you have a script for whatever it may be. If you don't have a script library available to you, by all means, just go to Google. Just go to YouTube. Just search, do a search for real estate scripts. Build your own library. We all have the time right now. Scripts are extremely valuable while you're getting closer. Step 4 was to use social media. And we all know how important social media is. Well, our top agents that helped us put together this class gave us some best practices. The first thing they said was to post regularly. You know, I think about when I see post regularly, I think about my aunt. My Aunt Pat, I love her to death. She recently learned first Facebook within the last 12 months. And what Aunt Pat will do is she literally will send me a Facebook message, if you're familiar with Facebook messages. Well, if I get a Facebook message, it kind of acts like a text, right? So I will text or message her right back, and she'll ask, hey, what's the number to your cousin? What's your cousin's phone number? And I'll text right back. Well, like 2 weeks later, she'll text back and say, thank you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Post regularly. People want to know that you are active. They want to know that you respond, which is another tip here. Stay positive. Don't put out a post that says, oh my goodness, this is horrific. That is a great way to lose people. Stay positive. Leverage video. If you think about it, a lot of interaction on social media is done by video. So make sure you're leveraging video. Be interactive. Talk to your sphere. Talk to your community. Put together a plan. What's your focus? Monthly, weekly, daily. And then you can utilize or leverage some of the social media tools that we may have in place, whether it's graphics or videos or posts that are available to you to help move this along. When you're using social media, you want to keep in mind that each social media platform that's out there does have suggested times that are better viewed, better times to post. And these are just suggestions. And just like those suggestions, here's my suggestion. You find the time that is right for your network, for your sphere, for your community. Find what works. And the way that you're going to do that is by tracking. So if you're posting something on Monday at 10 a.m. and you get no response, put that on the track in your spreadsheet or log it in a journal. If you post something on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and you get 50 people respond, put that in there so that you can find what works best for your network. This top agent says, I've never used Facebook Live, but I decided to try it and did a short video of myself with my dog. It took me just a few minutes and I received hundreds of views. I am still in shock by trying one little thing. And you know what? If you see the key here, it wasn't real estate specific. It was just a quick little video with a dog. So keep in mind, try something new and be diverse. Think outside the box. Step 5 to getting closer. Think outside the box. How about running a contest or some restaurant tabs, or restaurants for healthcare workers that may deliver to a healthcare facility nearby? How about cocktail recipes, right? I don't know about you guys, but realtors in my area, all they want to send me are chili recipes. I don't like chili, but I do like a good cocktail here and there. Send me a cocktail recipe. Show yourself mixing a cocktail or cooking your favorite cake. Put that together in a video and put that out there. A positivity party or a community outreach. Things to think outside of the box. If everyone else is doing it, do something different. Think outside of the box, and that will help you get closer. This agent says, I've started a Facebook Live series called Live from the Sky, where our drone flies over our community and I talk about the beautiful areas and their history. Now that's thinking outside of the box. Maybe you don't have a drone, but maybe you can just walk downtown and mention some of the history that's out there or parts of your neighborhood or community that are really fantastic. Step 6 is to strategize. Putting a plan in place. Put a plan in place for all of your days and know what it is that you're looking to achieve. Strategize it. Make sure you know your intent. These are some ideas, and it's up to you to put them into action. It's how you take it from today forward. Leonardo da Vinci, I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. Whatever your action items are, lock them in. Lock them in, then list what you need to complete that action item and always give it a date. What are your action items? What do you need to complete? And then what's the target date? That's how you take it from listening to application, listening to activity. Action items, what do you need to complete it? What's the target date? So some final thoughts. Everything that you do as far as your communication, you can reframe it, repurpose it once things are lifted, once everything is different for us, whatever our new norm may be. But the importance is that you have utilized this time to be active, to get active, to put things in motion so that your business continues. Last timely thought for you. While the timing is uncertain, I know that restrictions will eventually lift, and then I'm going to have everyone who wanted to list their home in the spring rush to list their home in the summer. I'm making sure my business is prepared for a flood of listings. What you do now is going to impact what your future is. take hold of that. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to Lee and see if we have any questions.
Thank you very much, Bryan. Good advice there. There were some people who were interested in the scripts that you put out there. I think you gave people lots of ideas there. So we just want to remind people that if you would like those, this video is available all the time on our Facebook page. Once we finish, it will still be available for you to view. So you'll be able to get those there. If you do have any other questions, please go into the comments section on Facebook and write your question and we can ask Bryan. We've got lots of things very interesting. Thank you. People have really enjoyed what you're saying. I know that where you are, things are starting to lift a bit, but you don't anticipate that you'll be going out too much in the coming weeks and days. A very slow start, but like you said, it's flooding season. So maybe we'll get a flood of listings coming up very soon. We don't seem to have any questions at this time, and I am actually out of questions. I think you were so comprehensive there. You did a great job at filling things in for people. So thank you very much, Bryan. We really, really appreciate it. I know we've had Catherine in your department, and we're going to see her again along with Lisa later on today. So thank you very much for your time. We really, really appreciate it.
Oh, it's been absolutely my pleasure. If you do come up with any questions or if you have any comments or anything, feel free to email me, Lee, and I will be able to get you what you need.
Excellent. Well, I hope you go on and look at our Facebook because we've got tons of comments saying, thank you, great content, loved it, great advice, you're a great speaker, very motivating. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
And
have a great one, everyone.
Thank you, Bryan. Everyone else, we will continue our Business Development Week tomorrow with Bob Burns. He is from Leaders Edge Training, and he's going to be talking to us about the different ways that you can, let me just make sure that I get the title correct here. We are talking about ways to set yourself up for success, not only now, but putting some plans in place so you can stick to that schedule. One of the things that I wrote down from Bryan's chat today, let your calendar become your boss. And Bob has a bunch of advice on how to do that. We will join you right back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, so 10 o'clock Pacific. And then throughout the rest of the week, you can find we've got some more handling objections. We've got a mastermind session coming up on Friday. We've got some financial advice on Thursday. So we have lots ahead for the week ahead in this Business Development Week. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.